And I think that you deserve this.
Oh my gosh.
When you think of powerhouse voices on TV talent shows, Jessica Sanchez is a name that's hard to forget. We all remember the 16-year-old who took the American Idol stage and sang with the soul of a legend twice her age. Her voice could silence an entire arena, bring judges to their feet, and for one incredible season, she made America feel. She was the runner-up who many still argue should have won, a star whose rise felt totally inevitable. But that's not the whole story. It's not even close to the beginning. The Jessica Sanchez who blew everyone away on Idol was already a veteran of the reality TV machine. She'd been through an earlier, much quieter rejection on a national stage, a trial by fire that was left out of her triumphant story. We all remember the 16-year-old vocal force who nearly won American Idol. But what if I told you that years before that she'd already been rejected on national television? This is the story of what America's Got Talent didn't tell you. It's a story about silent struggles, a pivot to international stardom that nobody saw coming, and a powerful full-circle moment that took nearly 2 decades to happen. The year is 2006. A brand new show called America's Got Talent is launching its first-ever season. Among the thousands of hopefuls is an 11-year-old girl from Chula Vista, California, named Jessica Sanchez. Born to a Filipina mother and a Mexican-American father serving in the U.S. Navy, Jessica had been singing practically her whole life. By age 10, she was already taking on legendary stages like Showtime at the Apollo. Her talent was undeniable. When she auditioned for AGT, she was so good that she made it past the initial rounds. But her journey hit a heartbreaking snag. After a powerful performance in the semifinals, she was eliminated. In a surprise twist, Judge Brandy Norwood, a recording artist herself, saw something special and used her wild card pick to bring Jessica back for one last shot. Standing on stage, with her father deployed in Iraq, an 11-year-old Jessica sang Celine Dion's I Surrender. Brandy was moved, telling her, "You're going to be huge, I promise." But it wasn't enough. The public vote didn't pull through, and Jessica Sanchez was eliminated again. For any kid, a public rejection like that could have ended the dream. But for Jessica, it was the opposite. Getting eliminated was devastating, but it really did help me realize I want to sing, she later recalled. AGT was the beginning of that fire spark inside of me. That fire, ignited by disappointment, would fuel her for the next 6 years. She wasn't just a kid who got sent home. She was a prodigy with a promise to keep to herself. During those years, she kept singing, performing at San Diego Chargers games and building a following online. Then, in 2012, came her moment. A 16-year-old Jessica Sanchez walked into the American Idol audition room. What happened next was one of the most dominant runs in the show's history. She took on the Mount Everest of songs, Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, and delivered a version so flawless it became an instant viral sensation, cementing her as the one to beat. Week after week, she showcased a vocal command that seemed impossible for her age. But the show wasn't without drama. In a shocking twist during the top 7 week, Jessica landed in the bottom, facing elimination. As she began her Save Me song, the judges dramatically stormed the stage, taking the microphone from her. "We are saving Jessica without any doubt," Randy Jackson declared. "This girl is one of the best singers in America ever." It was a historic moment as she became the first female contestant to receive the judges' save. She rode that wave all the way to the finale, a showdown between her, the vocal powerhouse, and Philip Phillips, the guy next door with a guitar. In the end, America chose Phillips, and Jessica was named the runner-up. But for many, that was just a technicality. The girl who was rejected on America's Got Talent had returned to television and become a superstar. With a recording contract, with Interscope Records, the future looked bright. So what happened? How did one of the most promising voices of a generation go from being the talk of the nation to seemingly disappearing from the American pop scene? The answer is tangled in the unforgiving machinery of the music industry. The time after American Idol should have been a victory lap. For Jessica, it was the start of a confusing struggle. She was signed to Interscope Records and working with A-list producers, but a conflict quickly arose. Her artistic vision, rooted in the soulful R&B ballads that made her famous, clashed with the label's desire for a radio-friendly pop star. Her debut album, Me, You, and the Music, was filled with upbeat, dance-oriented tracks. Critics noted that while the music was pristinely crafted and undeniably catchy, Jessica's powerhouse voice often felt buried under heavy production. The album that was supposed to be her grand debut felt disconnected. The raw, emotional artist America fell in love with was hard to find. The commercial results reflected this. Me, You, and the Music debuted at a disappointing number 26 on the Billboard 200, selling only about 14,000 copies in its first week. For an Idol runner-up of her stature, the numbers were a letdown. The lead single, Tonight, featuring Neo, was catchy but failed to capture the magic of her iconic TV performances. The fallout was quiet but swift. Within a year, Jessica had parted ways with Interscope Records. There was no public drama, she was simply let go. At just 18, she was adrift in an industry that had tried to fit her into a mold and cast her aside when she didn't fit. The very things that made her voice so special had suddenly become commercial problems. The years that followed were marked by fan speculation about behind-the-scenes business struggles, but Jessica simply said that she sort of got lost in the business, and even fell out of love with music for a while. Just when it seemed her voice might get lost in the industry wilderness, Jessica made a bold pivot that no one saw coming. She went international. Drawing on her deep Filipino heritage, her mother is from the province of Bataan, Jessica connected with her massive fan base in Southeast Asia, especially the Philippines. While the American industry didn't know what to do with her, in the Philippines, she was welcomed as a superstar. The success was huge. She headlined sold-out concerts, collaborated with top local artists like Christian Bautista, and became a fixture on Philippine television. She got involved in philanthropy, releasing a charity single called Lead Me Home for Typhoon Haiyan relief efforts. She even sang for the royal family of Brunei and performed the national anthems at a Manny Pacquiao fight at his personal request. In the Philippines, she found an audience that loved her for exactly who she was. This pivot wasn't just a career move, it was a reclamation. She reconnected with her roots and embraced the multicultural identity the American market couldn't package. "It's really becoming a second home to me," she said of the Philippines. "And the support and love I feel when I visit is like nothing I've ever experienced before." While it looked like she had disappeared from the U.S., Jessica Sanchez was actually thriving, building a successful career on her own terms. Freed from the constraints of a major label and empowered by her international success, Jessica began to rebuild her artistic identity from the ground up. This new chapter wasn't about chasing American fame, it was about authenticity. She began independently releasing a series of standalone singles. Songs like This Love, the confident R&B track Baddie, and the anti-racism anthem Us showed a more mature, self-assured artist. These weren't tracks designed to please a record executive. They were songs that came from her own experiences, with themes of empowerment and cultural pride. She was no longer just a voice for hire, she was an artist with something to say. Her personal life also bloomed. In 2021, she married her husband, Ricky Gallardo. This period of personal growth and artistic independence was a crucial rebuilding phase. The young girl who felt lost in the business had grown into a woman who knew exactly who she was. The music no longer felt like a job, it felt like a blessing. And that newfound confidence set the stage for the most incredible full-circle moment of her career. In the summer of 2025, nearly 20 years after her first appearance on the show, a 29-year-old Jessica Sanchez returned to the America's Got Talent stage. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a reclamation. When she walked out, she shared that she was not only married but also pregnant with her first child. Before she sang, she told the judges why she came back. "Throughout the years, I kind of fell out of love with music because I was really young, and I was so swayed by what everybody wanted me to be," she confessed. "It took me 20 years, but I know exactly who I am, I know exactly what I want. I'm excited to be back." Then she sang Benson Boone's Beautiful Things. The performance was breathtaking. This wasn't a teenager trying to prove herself. This was an artist sharing her journey. The voice was still massive, but now it carried the weight of everything she'd been through, the rejections, the industry battles, and the new joy in her life. The theater rose to its feet in a thunderous standing ovation. Judge Sofia Vergara, visibly moved, said, "It is so amazing that we are in the 20th season of AGT. You're here again after 20 years. You're pregnant. You are so ready. I think that you deserve this." And with that, she slammed the golden buzzer, sending Jessica straight to the live shows. It was a moment of pure triumph. The circle was complete. The little girl who was voted off was now a woman being showered in golden confetti, her return celebrated as a testament to perseverance and the enduring power of a special talent. The story of Jessica Sanchez isn't about a star who faded away. It's a powerful narrative of resilience. It's the story of an artist who was handed a script by the music industry, realized it wasn't right for her, and found the courage to write her own. She didn't disappear after Idol. She evolved. She navigated the tricky, unseen currents of the music business and emerged on the other side, not unscathed, but stronger and with a clearer sense of who she is. She found love, started a family, and reconnected with her cultural roots, building a life of purpose far away from the pop charts. Her triumphant golden buzzer return to America's Got Talent was the beautiful culmination of that two-decade journey. It was proof that sometimes the path to finding your voice means you have to get a little lost first. Jessica Sanchez showed that success isn't always linear, and it isn't just defined by record sales. True success is found in authenticity, in perseverance, and in the courage to redefine your dream on your own terms. The little girl with the big voice didn't just grow up, she grew into herself, and her story may have only just begun. What do you think of Jessica Sanchez's incredible journey? Were you watching during her time on American Idol or her first run on AGT? Let us know your favorite Jessica Sanchez performance in the comments below. And if you love untold stories about incredible artists, make sure to like and subscribe for more.